She calls her story as an unfinished story. So through this, her autobiographical reflection, My Immigration Story, she is not interested to give the readers in detail about the each and every part of her story. So she says that my story is an unfinished story. It's just like a story that connects different pieces together. It is in this context that she brings out a very interesting imagery, that is of jigsaw puzzle. She says that her life is just like a jigsaw puzzle with different pieces separated, and she has shed light on around 3 to 4 pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. She hasn't unfolded the remaining pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, and because of that reason, she calls her story as an unfinished story. So her unfinished story is a tale that connects pieces together, and the bones of women across 3 generations were described in detail. And which are the 3 women characters, apart from Chanley, that she gives due mention in the story, in the tale? One is her grandmother, the second one is her mother, and the third one is her younger sister. So 3 generations. First generation represented by her grandmother, the second generation represented by her mother, and the third generation represented by herself as well as by her sister. So grandmother, mother, and younger sister, they are the connecting thread across 3 generations, and all of them together celebrates the bones of women. So as she begins her life story, the memories take her back to the 4-year-old girl. She was just 4 years old when she needs to forcibly migrate from her native place, that is South Vietnam, as a refugee. But now, as the co-founder of Emotive, the software company, and as the resident of San Francisco in United States, her designation has been extended and elaborated. She has earned a degree in law. She is more importantly known among the Australian community as a social activist. So, who is a social activist? A person who can help others by getting by stepping into the society. So she herself is from the troubled background. She herself has faced a lot of challenges, but she always offer a helping hand to the needy people of the society. So this is the so from here, from this point onwards, she is trying to unfold the different pieces of jigsaw puzzle. As I told earlier, that for Tanley, her entire life is just like a jigsaw puzzle. So the first piece of jigsaw puzzle that Tanley likes to elaborate with her readers is that of her grandfather. So, what are the different memories of her grandfather that comes to Tanley's mind? Her grandfather was a poet, her grandfather was a playwright, and also a freedom fighter who worked for country's freedom and unity. But unfortunately, he could not do anything regarding the liberation of South Vietnam from the communist regime of North Vietnam. So he died by broken heart. That is how she remembers about her grandfather. The unfinished story of Tandy continues. The Vietnam Civil War is the background of this unfinished story. It's because of the outbreak of Vietnamese Civil War in the year 1975 that Tandy's family and several other Vietnamese residents, they were migrated to the neighboring and different parts of the world. And it's clear that as soon as the South Vietnam state was captured by the communist North Vietnam, the civil war came to an end. But many people, they lost their lives, they became homeless, landless. We know the atrocities being committed, or can be how a war can be more atrocious, and how a war can impose the brutal memories which cannot be wiped out even after passing of years and passing of generations. So such a brutal wound has been inflicted upon the family of Stanley. Even after their migration to Australia, Stanley's mother, she has been under the panic attack of these brutal memories of civil war. She remembers how her grandfather died broken by history. So he considered his life as a big failure because he could not save his country. And grandmother always reflects upon the stories of the grandfather. And in this way, the memories of grandfather always remain alive within the minds of Stanley. So grandmother acted as a connecting link between Stanley and Stanley's grandfather. And here there is a quote from the Chandy's tale, and this is the lesson that she learned. History tried to crush us, but we endured. Yes, history. Uh, the reference is to the Vietnamese War, the Vietnamese history, the outbreak of civil war in Vietnam. Yes, it crushed the dreams, hopes, aspirations of a large number of Vietnamese people. But we endured, we survived. We somehow we got liberated. We struggled a lot. Went through different adversities, but we finally we all overcome. At least some of the people overcome from these challenging situations. This is the first lesson that she tries to share with the audience. History tried to crush us, but we endured. It's a very heart touching sentence, but at the same time it gives us a valuable insight insight regarding the promising days that we need to live in the coming days. The her sentence is highly inspirational.